Welcome to this webinar, Write Your Story Abroad. My intention today with this webinar is to share with you a little bit of my story and to also give you hope, confidence, whether you're going to move abroad soon or whether you're living abroad. My intention is not to give you a secret formula because I don't believe there is one. We all have different experiences depending on our background, depending on our culture, depending on our situation or the environment where we are moving to. So my intention is to share with you my story with vulnerability, sharing my challenges, and also give you some strategies that helped me. And I hope it will help you also during this transition. So there will be a time at the end where you can ask the question if you want to. Let's go for the webinar. Okay. So first of all, I thought it was interesting to share with you my personal journey. So my parents are multicultural. I have a French father, Japanese mother, you can see in the picture here, and I have a sister also, younger than me. And we lived in France and in Japan. So at the age of 6 years old, and my sister 4, we moved to Tokyo, where my mother is from, and we lived in Japan for 9 years. So during this time, of course, I had the cultural shock. I had to adjust to the new language, new environment, different things. I had some challenges as a child. But at the end, it was a wonderful experience. It taught me so much. It taught me to be multicultural and to be open-minded and to have different languages as well. So I'm very thankful for my parents for that. And you see here on the top right a picture of my wedding. My husband is French Vietnamese. He's originally from Vietnam and he was born and raised in France. So he has multicultural as well. Okay. And you can see also that we have 2 daughters, so they were born in 2012 and 14. So now today they are 8 and 10 years old, and so we have also, again, I come from a multicultural family and I built a multicultural family. So when you look at this, you can think that, you know, when I moved to the US, I didn't have any challenges, and you will see that actually it's not the case, but let's see a little bit later, okay? So when you join, please, if you could unmute yourself, that would be great, and you will be able to ask questions in the chat, okay? All right, let's see. So because I moved in Japan, in France, and I was always passionate with different cultures, I continued in this journey, and I went to study in an international business school called IPAC. So that's a picture of me in the south of France when I studied there, and it helped me to, after, go through international curriculum and move to the UK. So I went to the Liverpool John Moores University. I studied in China as well, and I was my dream at that time was to work in a multinational company. So I had experiences in different companies such as Orange, Alcatel, General Electric, Alstom. I wanted to be in a multinational company so that I could work with coworkers and clients from all around the world. I could travel all around the world. So I think I got this virus of moving abroad at a pretty young age, thanks to my parents. So I'm very thankful for that. And one day, so I was in France, working in France with my 2 children, with my husband. I was a sales manager in Alstom, and my husband came home and asked me, do you want to move to Rochester, New York? I just had a job opportunity. And we checked where it was on the map. You can see here on the map, it's surrounded by green, surrounded by nature. We didn't know where it was. We Googled it. We saw that it was 5 hours drive from New York City. So even though it's in New York State, it's 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours drive from New York City. We didn't know where it was. So my initial reaction was not so positive, because my dream and our dream actually as a couple was to live in Asia one day, because we are both from Asian culture, and clearly it was not Asia, it was the US. So after doing this research and thinking through, and we didn't have much time. Usually that's what happens when you have an opportunity abroad. You don't have much time to think about it, because there are other candidates, perhaps the opportunity doesn't last long. So we knew we had to decide very quickly. And so I think in a matter of few days, we decided that, okay, let's go. It might be a good opportunity for our daughters who will become bilingual, like I became living in Japan. So we thought, okay, let's go for it. Let's try. And it was also something exciting about it, you know, to be able to discover something new, somewhere new, and to change our situation, because he would have a different job and I would also have more time with my daughters, because when I was working, I didn't have much time with my daughters. So it would give me opportunity to spend more time. And when we arrive in the US, so I am giving you here a summary. I cannot share with you everything that happened. If you want to know more, I have written a book with my dad, who is here. We wrote a book in French called Regards croisés sur l'expatriation, where we talk about all our experience living in Japan and now in the US. Anyway, so when we moved to Rochester, New York, we had, of course, even we had excitement and newness. Also, there was a culture shock. When I would visit the daycares for my daughters, to choose a daycare for my daughters, the teacher would give me a hug to say, I hope you come to this daycare. They would give me a hug. I was so surprised, because in French we do la bise, you know, it's but we don't do it when we don't know the person. It's when you know the person, when you're close enough to do la bise. So I was very surprised. Also, when we moved, maybe 1 or 2 days after, my neighbor came with a plate full of biscuits, and I didn't know what to do with this biscuit. My initial reaction was, should I be worried? There is poison in that? My French mindset was a bit cautious about, I don't know this person, she's giving me biscuits. Also, the positive mindset, which is very American. I was not used to that, because in Rochester, if you know this area a little bit, it's at the frontier with Canada. So the winters can be pretty aggressive with a lot of snowstorm. So, and people were always positive, optimistic. Oh, that's great. It's snowing. We can go skiing. And I was, again, my French mindset was like, oh no, it's snowing again. We have to wear a lot of clothes. We have to get ready to, get ready for school. For kids, it would take a lot of time to put layers on them. And then when we arrived to school, we had to remove all these layers. It would take so much time. And I think for me, the biggest culture shock was that I was not working anymore. And so I thought it would be a wonderful experience for me. But instead, it was a different reason. I had to get used to finding playgrounds to make my daughters busy, because they didn't go to the daycare immediately. So I had to find some activities for them and find some groups of moms to organize play days together. And so the reality is that, yes, what you looked outside was a happy mom with 2 daughters at home. In this picture, my daughters are 18 months and 3 years old when we moved to Rochester. And yes, we look happy. And yes, we were happy. And at the same time, there were days where I was frustrated, where I was sad. I miss my family, I miss my friend, and I was sad at home by myself because my husband would go to work. He was busy. He was, dedicated to his work. He had to succeed because thanks to him or because of him, we moved to the US. So he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders. And if you know the American system, it's a hire and fire culture. So if he didn't make the job, he would get fired and we would have to go back to France. So he had a lot of pressure, and myself, I was feeling lonely at home. I couldn't complain because I was thinking to myself, if I complain, my husband also is having a lot of stress. So I was keeping it for myself a lot of time. And I felt a lot of guilt too. Why I'm not feeling happy? I should feel happy because we are in a new country. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be with my kids. And yet I had this feeling inside of me of, yes, but maybe it's not for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I had a lot of feeling around that, the guilt, confusion, things like that. I would like to share with you this because I'm sure it can happen to us, also other accompanying spouse. And sometimes, we don't want to share about it because we feel like I shouldn't have those feelings. After that, of course, I am here where I am now because I took, the bull by the horns, we say. I decided to put the kids at the daycare to have more time to find my own journey. I wanted to know what I wanted to do because at this point I didn't know anymore what I wanted to do. Should I go back to sales, or should I find another job? Should I go back to a company, or should I create my business? Actually, the idea of creating my business didn't come randomly. It came because I met a wonderful friend, and she became my coach, and she helped me to realize that I could be a coach and help other person who also goes through this cultural transition. And so after that, as you can see in this picture, I was, and I'm still helping other women in their transition. I give presentation in universities. This picture here is a picture of me giving a webinar presentation in a business school, the school I graduated from, IPAG. So I am teaching the young adults to survive culture shock, to adjust to a new cultural environment. And this picture on the left is me giving training in a corporate environment in a company called ABB. And so right now I feel so fulfilled because I have the ability to find my balance, being with my daughters often, because here they finish school very early at 2:30. So after school, I am with them, but in the morning and the beginning of afternoon, I am able to do what I really love, what I'm passionate about: coaching, training people, and helping people in the transition. And I got the coaching certification in the US as well. And here on the right, you see my book written with my dad, Philippe de Neuville, about Regard croisé sur l'expatriation, and it's in French, and it will be translated in English shortly, hopefully, because I get a lot of requests to translate it. And now I would like to share with you some strategies, concrete strategy. I like to share concrete tips with concrete examples that you can apply in your situation, wherever you are in your transition, wherever you are moving shortly, you just moved, or you're in the US or another country, of course, for a long time. It can apply to you. Cultural adjustment. I think that's the most important part of it. Is here, as you can see, this is the U curve, or cross-cultural adjustment, which was developed by Black and Mendehal in 1991. And here we see the different phases of the cross-cultural adjustment. So the first step usually is the honeymoon, but it doesn't happen all the time. Honeymoon is when you're excited, you know, it's like when you just got married, you're excited, it's new, you are with the person you love, and so it's exciting, right? And it's like that also when you move to a new country, usually you have this excitement phase. It doesn't happen all the time because sometimes, unfortunately, the expatriation is not chosen, especially if you're the accompanying spouse. Sometimes you didn't want to go there. It could almost happen to me because I was not so into moving to the US initially, but then I changed my mind, of course, and I was excited. So I think I had the honeymoon personally for a short time though, because quickly I moved to the culture shock phase or the crisis phase, where actually it's the phase where you start to miss your family, your friends, you are wondering what I'm doing here, what should I do? Or you also have this real culture shock where you are judging the culture where you are because you don't understand why they behave this way, why they speak this way, why they are not making any efforts in understanding my French accent, for example. Right, as you can see, that I have been in the US for 7 years, and I still have my strong French accent. And there were times where I felt a bit frustrated because I felt like I didn't say the word so differently, and people wouldn't understand. So that could be in the culture shock. And then comes the adjustment phase where you start to get used to, you start to feel like home, you're making new friends, perhaps you belong to communities, you are starting some theater lessons like I did. You know, I started to take some acting lessons. So I had some new friends. I started to learn about public speaking because I was like, oh, Americans are very good at public speaking, so I should learn from them. So I also learned new skills, and I met new friends from the school. You know, my daughters were catalysts, huge catalyst of making new friends and feeling integrated in the American environment, because I would volunteer in their school, I would participate in field trips, things like that. And then the mastery phase is where you really feel like home. And usually mastery phase happens after 2 to 3 years, which can be ironic because usually when you're expats, after 2 to 3 years, you go back to your country. So that's a bit, it can be frustrating because you move to a new country, you go back to your house when you actually feel really like home. Okay, let's see. All right. And then, so the cultural adjustment phase. And so here it is chart I would like to show you, because here you can see there are 3 colors. Each color is from a different culture. And so it's issued from Globe Smart, which is an amazing tool where you can see what is your cultural profile. And so there are different dimensions here. I won't go into all of them, but depending on the culture, some culture you're more independent, some culture you're more interdependent, meaning you have the I can do anything by myself attitude, or you need to be in a group, teamwork. In some culture you are more into egalitarianism, meaning everyone should be at the same level, or some culture are more hierarchy oriented. There should be different levels. There are some culture where there are different castes, you know, different level. Some cultures, they are more into taking risk. Risk is okay, making mistake is okay. Other culture is not. You need to make sure everything is perfect before taking actions. Other culture, you're very direct in your communication style. What you say is what you think, and other cultures is very indirect. Another dimension is it task oriented or relationship oriented? Or you're focusing on your business is business, or you're more into relationship, meaning before doing any business, is it important to take the time to build the relationship? Okay, so here I would like to, in the chat, perhaps you can let me know, did you guess which color in which culture? So just to give you a hint, there is France, Japan, and USA. Each color is different culture. And of course, this is based on generalization, and you can write in the chat if you know. It's based on generalization. That's something very important in cultural adjustment is each time I give a training, I say what I'm telling you about American culture, Japanese culture, it is a generalization because of course, a person who lived 10 years abroad will not be the same as others. And also there are differences depending on the cities, the areas you live, right? America, United States is such a big country. The people from New York State don't have the exact same culture as the people in Florida, for example. Okay, I will just invite you to, okay, I just mute everybody if you're okay with that, just to make sure there is no background noise. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure if I see any answers in the chat. So what I will do, I will give you the answer. Let me see. I'm just checking if I don't see. No. Ah, yes, I saw something. Okay, let me. Why I don't see the chat? Okay. Oh, okay, I don't know. Somehow there is an issue with the chat function, so I am going to continue because I'm recording. So for the flow, at the end, you will be able to ask questions. Perhaps you were right with your answer. So here you see there is the United States is in green, France is in yellow, and Japan is in purple. And you also see my profile, which I took this assessment when I just moved to the US. So at that time, I was really French and Japanese, if you can see. Okay, so sometimes I'm very close to Japanese culture, and on other areas, I'm very close to the French culture. And I think if I had to take it again now, perhaps in some areas I would be more American. So it's very interesting to know, and that's something a tool I use with some of my clients who really wants to discover their cultural profile in comparison to where they're going, just to have a clear picture, and then they're also able to reduce the cultural gap in some areas where there is a bigger gap. For example, in my case, I would work on my communication style because I'm very indirect. So I would make sure when I'm interacting with Americans, I'm more direct. I say what I think. Okay. The second strategy is really the mindset to me. It is when we go through different transitions, of course, we have a stress, we have we have a lot of feelings, and a lot of them are energy. Actually, our energy, overall energy, is impacted by 6 influencers. It is impacted by our environmental. Where are we moving? Are we moving, for example, during the middle of a pandemic? Are we moving in an area where there is a hurricane, like what happens to me when I moved to the States? In Florida, actually, 1 week later, we had a hurricane, so it was a lot of stress. Are we, the physical aspect, are we rested? Sometimes, when we just arrive in a new place, we have the jet lag, we are tired, the kids, they don't sleep anymore. So we can have also the physical influencer. Are we rested enough? Are we taking care of our physical health? Are we exercising, sleeping, eating correctly? Things like that. The mental aspect, are we also thinking about too many things? Sometimes our head is full of to-do lists, especially when we just move abroad, or even before the move, that we are stressed. So it's very important to just clear our mind and be able to have a to-do list clear with the priorities, and even to have a, partnership with our spouse to perhaps delegate some task. Spiritual is also one of the influencer. What does it mean? It's not necessarily only the religion. It can be also, do we believe in the fact that everything happened for a reason? When we have a challenge, do we believe that it is for a greater purpose? Perhaps it's to teach us something. It is also to, do we have like a goal? Spiritual can be also about a goal. Do we see bigger than just our situation right now? Okay. The emotional also is a big influencer. Are we how are we feeling? Are we feeling sad? And when I am sad, when I'm angry, am I keeping my all my emotions for myself, or am I welcoming them? I am allowing them to am I allowing myself to cry? Simply, I don't have to cry in front of my kids, but am I giving space to cry in my room? And because we say that when our emotions are high, our intelligence is low. It's very one of my mentor says that, but it's true. When we have a lot of going on emotions, we are not able to think correctly. And then the last one is a social influencer. So, and this can be tricky, especially when we move somewhere, because we don't have a social circle anymore. We don't have friends anymore locally. So it's very important to me to work on that as soon as possible, because as soon as we have a community or people we know, people who can support us, perhaps people from our culture. Like I had, when I moved to Rochester, I had one French friend who became my coach, by the way. I had a few Japanese friends, and I have my theater acting friends. So I quickly I created my social circle, different social circle actually, and it helped me overall on the other aspect too, on the emotional and mental aspects. So these are the 6 influencers, and the interesting thing is we all have 7 different of energy in us. We all have this, level 1 energy, which is the victim level. When we feel like why it's happening to me is too difficult. We have the level 2 energy, anger, when we feel frustrated, when we feel angry toward our spouse. Perhaps I had this energy when I was staying at home with my 2 daughters, and sometimes I was angry. It was not his fault, but I was frustrated because the kids would cry all day, and when he came back home, I just wanted to give him the kids and say, you know what, take care of them. And I was also jealous because I was telling him, I wish I was going to work and you would be at home with the kids. So, this is level 2 energy. The level 3 energy, like this picture, is when you are in forgiveness. You feel like, oh, this is what it is. Even if I'm in victim or anger, it doesn't help anything. So it is what it is. I have to accept the situation. So as you can see, it's like a stair. We climb the stairs of the energy. Usually we start with level 1 when we have a stress, then we go to level 2, and then level 3, which is it is what it is. And then we are able to go into level 4, which is the compassion. It's this one with the heart. It's when you realize, just to give you an example, when I was in Rochester, it's when I realized I am not the only one stressing out here. It's my husband also. He has a lot of stress at work, so I should think about him too. And I should think about the kids too. The kids also are going through a lot. And actually my youngest daughter, Lina, she would not sleep in her room anymore. She had a lot of feelings herself too. So it's like when you're in compassion, you're able to see others' emotions too. Then the level 5 energy is the peace. When you are into more, you see the opportunities in this challenge. You start to see that, oh, being here in the US gives me an opportunity to improve my English, to take new lessons, to meet new people, perhaps to create my own business, which I did. It gives opportunities. And then level 6 is the joy. It's when you feel like you're in gratitude. You feel like, I'm so lucky to live here. I'm so blessed to live here. What a joy. And I don't know how long it's going to last. So let's just enjoy the life. Just let's travel, discover new areas, try new foods. You're in a joy and gratitude. And then level 7, which is absolute passion, it's where you feel like everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is here for a reason. And it's almost like you're they're at peace. And when you're at level 7 energy, you're able to reach to any energy. You can decide, okay, right now I want to be in level 1 energy, in victim level, because it's comfortable. And when I'm in level 1, I get the compassion from my husband, perhaps. Or now I want to be angry because it's the time to be angry, and I allow myself to be angry. I allow myself to be in level 2. So it's like when you're in level 7 energy, you're able to tap into any energy you want. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because a lot of time when we have a feeling of overwhelm or sadness or anger, we feel like the world is happening to us. We feel like we don't have the power. I'm feeling that way. That's the way I am. And the truth is, you always have the choice to choose in which energy you want to be. And it comes with practice. But at least if you know that, okay, right now I am in victim level, and actually there are 6 other possibilities, at least it gives you a perspective that there are other options. This is why I'm showing you this. The source of this energetic self-perception chart is from IPEC. This is a coaching school I graduated from, and it's very powerful because when you know your energetic profile also, that's truly changed my life. When I'm showing you my energetic profile. I took it also 6 years ago, so it's probably changed a bit. But when I took it, it's really opened my eyes, and that is something I use with all my clients. I discovered that naturally on the left hand, you see, this is your energetic profile when everything is going well. So when everything is going well, I have a lot of level 4, I have a lot of compassion, and that's pretty normal. Usually when you're a mom or a dad, you have a lot of compassion naturally towards your children. And also through my job as a coach, I have naturally this tendency to wanting to help others. So it totally makes sense that I have a lot of level 4 and I have a lot of level 6, which is the joy. And for people who know me, you probably know that I'm very optimistic. Usually most of the time, I smile, I'm happy, I'm in gratitude, I enjoy life. I know that life can be short, so that's where I am naturally. So that's really opened my eyes because I realized, oh, okay, that's how I am. But I think the most important one is on the right hand. It's when you look at your energetic stress reaction profile. That's when I realized, oh, when I am stressed, I have so much level 1 energy, which is a victim level. So that means that whenever I have a stress in my life, the number 1 tendency, and most of us, all the chart I saw, it's usually we have a lot of level 1 and 2 energy when we are stressed. So which is totally normal. But it's just to show you that when you're stressed, and for example, when you move to a new areas and you encounter cultural shock, it is normal at some point to feel like a victim, like, I don't know what to do. I'm lost. I'm confused. Did I take the right decision? What I am going to do in my life? So it's normal. And then you go into usually right after that, and depending on people, you can stay in victim level for days, weeks, months, or years, which is not my case. Usually quickly, I'm able to go into level 2, the anger, usually it's toward myself. Like I am like, okay, Yuko, now enough. It's enough to be in victim level. Let's do something. Usually level 2 energy can be helpful because it helps you to get out of this victim level and do something. And then quickly I'm able to go back to the level 4 because it's a longer spar after level 1 and 2 here, which is normal because it's my automatic pattern. So this, and then we have the our overall resonating level of energy, which is the average of all the energies when I'm in everyday life or when I'm in stress, which is 3.56. So that's okay. So that is just to show you that we all have an energetic profile, and it is important to know that we always have the choice to change it. It's not something stone in the stone, set in stone. It's something you can change it. If I take it now, probably it will be different. So that's and actually with one of my clients, she took the assessment at the beginning of the coaching, and then she took it 6 months later after our coaching, and it was completely different. It was like almost like someone else. At the beginning of the coaching, she had so much catabolic energy, which is usually the level 1 and 2 energy. And after the coaching, she had like a majority of level 5 and 6 energy. So it is possible. We have the power in our hands. The number 3 strategy, which is the clarity. After we make efforts to adjust to the culture, and we realize that our emotions are not who we are, but we have the choice to choose energy. Another thing is to be clear around, are you happy right now in your life? And a tool that I use with my clients, and I'm sharing with you here, and you can use it, you can take a picture or keep it to do it later, but this is a wheel of life. So basically you rate your satisfaction level, 1 being I'm not satisfied at all, 10 being I'm very satisfied in each areas of your life. Am I happy with my family right now, with my parenting? Meaning, I'm satisfied with the way I am with my children, for example. Am I satisfied with my relationship with my children, for example? You rate it. Am I satisfied with my personal development, with the work I'm doing on myself? So, for example, I'm reading enough book or doing enough work for myself, or am I taking care of myself? I'm happy with that. Spiritual awareness can be, am I happy with it's not only the religion, again, spiritualities. Am I happy with spirituality? It can be the universe, it can be religion, it can be, am I happy with the way I feel supported by forces outside of me, for example. All right. So, am I having fun in my life? I am enjoying life, or am I always doing in my doing mode? Am I having fun? Am I traveling? What fun means to me? Is it fun? Does fun means traveling, walking in the woods, spending time with my kid? First, ask the question, what does fun means to me? And then, am I happy with my intimate relationship? Am I happy with my relationship with my partner? And am I happy with my relationship with my friends? And perhaps you don't have many friends, but you're happy with that. So you rate a higher score for that. It doesn't mean, do I have a lot of friends? It's not that the question. Am I happy with where I am now? Okay. And health and aging. Am I happy with my wrinkles, with my body, with my health, things like that? And am I happy with my personal finance? And here again, it's not because, for example, I give you the example of a stay-at-home mom who is not earning money personally. She's relying on her partner, perhaps, or it can be a man as well. But perhaps he or she is happy with this situation. So in this case, rate a higher score. Or perhaps it's the opposite. I am not earning money at all and I'm not happy with that. So I will rate it 2 or 1. Am I happy with my career? or my non-career. Like if I don't have a career right now, am I happy with that? Perhaps you will say, yes, you know what? I'm happy not having a job. I'm happy just staying at home. Okay, that sounds good. Or I'm not happy. So you circle it in one color, and then in another color, you circle where you want to be. So that is very powerful. It will help you to gain clarity around where you are at now and where you want to be. And sometimes it is hurtful to face the truth, to look yourself in the mirror and to realize I am not happy with my fun in my life at all right now. It's not, it doesn't feel good. And at the same time, it's very important to face the truth and to do something about it, to take actions around it. Okay. And right now, so I would like, before talking about some of the offers that I have for you, if you have questions, that is the time to ask any of your questions if you want related to this webinar. So let's see if you have questions. I don't know if the chat works or not. It doesn't work. So if you want to come up, unmute yourself and ask questions, feel free to do so. You also have the raise a hand button. You can, so I give you a couple of seconds in case you have any questions. Otherwise, I will present you, I will present some of the offers that I have for you. All right, no questions. So let's continue with some of the offers that I have that I wish I could. There is a question in the chat, but I don't see that's a problem. I think I have an issue with that. Just a moment. I will stop the share screen and see if I can. Everything is okay. Okay, perfect. Oh, and now I see the answer from Lumi de Neuville about the color. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so let's continue with the offer. It won't take a long time. So this is the brand new offer I just created called A Blooming New Life. It is the Expat Club, and this is something I wish I had access to 7 years ago when I moved to the US. This is a community where expats can support one another. I wish when I moved to the US 7 years ago, I had people I could talk to. I could say, you know what, I don't feel happy now. I am at home with my kids and I don't feel happy. And is it normal? Is it normal to feel this way? I wish I had a place where I could share my feelings openly without fear of judgment. I wish I could ask a question to a group of people and say, I don't understand why they're hugging me. I don't understand why the neighbor is giving me biscuits. Should I eat it or not? Is it risky or not? I don't understand why they never complain. I wish I had this place where I could ask all these questions. And that is why I created the Expat Club, which is a community where I will be giving some content every month. So you will be able to learn and grow because each month there will be new content. I will give a new webinar on different topics. It could be on cross-cultural adaptation, how to navigate a transition. It can be on stress management, how to be more relaxed when you have an unexpected event, work-life balance. It could be on parenting, the TCK, third culture children, how to navigate all these different cultures. So each month there will be a webinar in this group. There will be also Zoom calls few times during the year because this is a 1 year long membership. There will be also few Zoom calls where you can ask any questions to me. There will be also a supporting community where you can support one another. It's going to be a networking opportunity as well. And each member has the possibility also to come and present their expertise. I will also invite guest speakers to share their expertise on different topics, such as for example, conscious parenting or time management. There will be some experts talking about mindfulness or yoga. There will be different topics. And the beautiful thing is that you will be also able, the members of this group will be able to also offer suggestion or like, oh, I want to learn about this. I want to learn about, I have this question, and it will be a co-creation. So this is going to be the Expat Club, a 1-year-long membership. And right now it is at a very ridiculous price of only $150, very low, because it's just a price for 2022. It will be probably increased in 2023. It's for 1 year and you get more than 10 hours content, 12 hours content, more than that. And you have access to this supporting community. And also, I forgot to say, when you join, you also have access to all the offers at a discounted price. So you have access to the private coaching and to different offers, to your energetic profile discovery, and all offers that I will present you at a 15% discount when you're a member during this duration. So it's only $150 for now. The other offer is a private coaching. So this is it's offered where you have most access to me because it's individual, it's customized, and it is for 5 to 6 months. We have 10 sessions together, and I help clients on different topics. For example, I help some clients adjusting to a new business culture, to American business environment, how to be a more inclusive leader. I help also some clients who are accompanying spouse. I help them to adjust to the new environment, to work on their work-life balance, to find their own goals, to have their own working experience, whether it's coming back to a job in a company or creating their own business. So this is really a customized coaching where we have 10 sessions, 1 hour session during 5 to 6 months, and you have the unlimited support from me between sessions through messages, audio messages, and things like that. So this is a $2,222. When you are a member of the Expat Club, remember you have 15% discount, okay? And the last offer I want to present you here, because I have other offers, but this one is my baby. This is Yatta, which is a coaching for our children. This is a coaching program I created for children from 8 years old to teenagers. There is not age limitation because I also coach adults, as you know. And so this is also private individual coaching I created for our children because I believe that confident children, they become fulfilled adults. And we work on emotional intelligence, how to understand their emotions, that it is okay to feel sad, it is okay to feel angry, and at the same time we learn how to express them and how to shift their emotion, how to shift their energy, I would say. We work on self-confidence, which is a big piece, how to believe in themselves, how to know that their differences make them stronger, actually, especially children who move from a country to another, third culture kid, cross-cultural kid. A lot of times they lack of self-confidence because they feel like they're different and they feel like difference is not good. And we work on the opposite, actually. Yes, difference is a strength. We also work on public speaking, how to feel more comfortable expressing themselves in front of the classroom, in front of a teacher, how to structure their speech so that they can use body language, facial expression, and how to structure their content. That way it has more impact. And the fourth, but not least, is how to make friends, especially when they're introverts, how to communicate in a way and ask questions in a way that friends feel like they feel in a good hands with them. So it's like we work on communication and on social skills as well. So this is a coaching for children I created initially for my children, and this is a beautiful program. It's about, there are 8 sessions with the children, 30-minute sessions. There are also 3 sessions with the parents. And I have also video contents for the children to watch between the session. So it lasts about also about 5 months, 4 to 5 months. And it is $1,100 for this one. Same thing. When you're a member, you get 15% discount. If you have any question regarding any of these offers or other offers like discovery of your energetic profile or discovering of your cultural profile, you can always reach out to me, ask any questions. I will share with you my contact details now. So you can send me an email to schedule your discovery session. So it's going to be a 30 minutes free call where we can discuss about your situation, which offer can be the best option for you. And you can, so this is my email, you have my website. I am also on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn. I would be happy to have a conversation with you. I hope you enjoy this presentation. And if you have any questions, I can stay online here also a few minutes. So let me know any question or comments. Let's see if I can see. Give you a few minutes, and if not, we will leave it there. And I wish you a wonderful day, wonderful afternoon, or wonderful evening, wherever you are on this planet. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your comments.